Do you believe that Christopher poses a danger to you?
No.
Who's here on Christopher Ray Munoz?
Present, Your Honor.
All right, where are we on discovery?
Bond conditions.
Just 1 second.
I have courtesy copies for the court if the court would like.
Oh, I think they've attached them. Yeah.
Okay. I also have a copy of the bond conditions as they currently stand, if the court would like that.
Thank you so much.
I'll offer the same thing to the state.
All right, court is calling CM 118261 and CM 118262, State versus Christopher Ray Munoz. Defense has filed a motion to modify special bond conditions. State, have you had a chance to review the defense's motion?
We have that.
Are you ready to proceed?
Yeah.
And State, are you in objection?
Objection to the motion?
Yes.
Yes, we do have that.
All right, so defense, you may proceed.
Your Honor, I have one minor modification that I need to make on the record to the statements in my motion, as I've learned that there has been a slight change. In paragraph 5, subparagraph A, there is a statement that on my client's partial house arrest, that he is not being allowed to shop for groceries or household goods. That is largely true, but he has been allowed by pretrial services to stop at convenience stores for gas and make very quick trips on his way, but largely the shopping is still an issue. So I wanted to clarify that he has been given a little bit of leniency. To my understanding, when I drafted this, there was no leniency at all. He could not shop in any store
All right,
whatsoever.
so let me ask you, specifically in your motion, what are you requesting?
We're requesting relief from GPS partial house arrest, and we're also requesting relief from the blanket prohibition against being with anybody under 18.
All right, so
due
let's
to the
start
family
with,
implications.
the GPS. Do
I-
you want him removed from GPS entirely?
I would like him, we offer the court an alternative. I would like him removed from GPS entirely. If the court ends up being unwilling after hearing testimony, then we would ask for GPS to be switched to tracking only.
Okay. And State, would you have an objection to tracking only?
GPS stays in place.
Oh, no. I'm just asking just blanket questions right now, and then I'll hear everybody's argument. So I just want to pare down where the disagreement is or the objection is. So you want GPS removed entirely or either tracking in the alternative?
Yes.
Okay, and then what's the other thing that you're requesting?
The other thing is we would like relief from the provision where he is not allowed to have contact with any person 17 years of age or younger, as that is conflicting with family get-togethers and as we'll introduce from his mother's testimony.
All right, so State, do you have any objection to him being around people who are 17 years of age?
We do have.
All right, so now I know where the disagreements are.
That's the entire scope of this morning's motion.
All right, and so there are no other bond conditions you're asking to be modified, just those
That
two?
is correct. Just those two.
All right,
Yes, yes.
all right, you may call your witness.
The defense calls Mary Munoz. Mary Munoz, please come forward.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Good morning.
Good morning. Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Thank you.
All right, you can lower your hand. Everyone, please make sure you whisper. We're on the record. Could you state your name for the record?
Mary Ellen Munoz.
All right, just make sure you keep your voice up so that the court reporter can hear and so that I can hear, okay? All right, and thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
Thank you.
All right, Counselor, you may proceed.
Ms. Munoz, do you know Christopher Ray Munoz?
Yes, I do.
How do you know Christopher?
He's my second son.
Okay. You are his biological mother?
Biological mother, yes.
Did you raise him in your home?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Now, you are aware of his arrest in March on the current case, correct? Cases?
I am.
And you're aware that he bonded out
I do.
and you have invited him to make his home in your home
Yes.
for the time being?
Yes.
I would like to ask you some questions because you would be aware of the things that I want to ask about. Okay. Do you currently live at 127 West Drexel Avenue in San Antonio?
That is correct.
Is that a house or an apartment? How long have you resided there?
Since September, October of 2014.
So you've been there for 10 years.
Yes,
Now, is it true that Christopher, for the most part, is unable to shop for himself?
yes,
Have you been having to buy his groceries?
I have.
Have you been having to do other businesses that require going to a store for him?
Clothing.
Okay.
Yes.
Would you agree that that has cost you extra time because you've been the one to have to do those things?
Yes,
Okay. Do you have extended family other than Christopher? You said he was your second son, right?
yes,
So you have other children?
I have one of my oldest.
How many other kids do you have besides Christopher?
I just have a son and a daughter.
Okay. And do you have any grandchildren?
I have grandchildren. I have
Okay.
four grandsons.
Okay. Now, before this incident and before Chris was on bond, would you frequently have your children and grandchildren over to your home?
Yes,
Okay,
for dinners and
okay. Are any of these grandchildren under 18?
yes, three of them.
Has this created a hardship because Christopher's not allowed to be around persons under 18?
It has birthdays and Mother's Day and
So have these relatives just not come, or have you made Chris leave, or have you?
they just don't come to the house. The children are not allowed to come. I'd have to go over there.
Are you aware that Christopher has a son?
Yes,
Do you know the name of his son?
Jackson David Carranza Munoz.
And do you know approximately how old Jackson is?
He is 8 years old.
Now, before this incident or before this arrest, was Christopher active in his son's life?
Yes, every other week he would pick him up and have him for the weekend and take him back.
Okay. From what you could see, did Jackson appear to enjoy being around his dad?
Yes, he did.
Okay. Since Christopher's release on bond, to your knowledge, has he been able to see his son?
No, he hasn't been able to see him or talk to him.
Have you heard from Jackson during this time?
Yes, I have
Okay.
contacted his mother and
Okay.
yes,
Now, I understand that after this incident or after this arrest, CPS investigated Christopher, is that right? Are you aware of this?
yes,
Okay. And are you aware if they found any reason for concern regarding Jackson?
no, they did not.
Okay. Are you aware of whether their investigation has been closed?
Yes, we received a letter that it's been closed.
Okay. And I believe that letter was provided as an exhibit to the court, to the original motion, right? Okay. Have you ever seen Christopher acting inappropriately around Jackson?
No, never.
Now, you have another son. What is your other son's name?
Juan Munoz
Juan.
Junior.
And does Juan,
Excuse me, counsel, I'm sorry for interrupting. I don't have the letter attached. You said there was a letter?
there should have been a letter. See if I made a note that I attached that as a motion or as an. Let me see. That should have been part of I did not print out the letter this morning because I thought, yes, I believe I attached it to the original motion. But it states that CPS did a peremptory investigation into Christopher regarding his son Jackson and found nothing and closed the investigation with no reason to believe.
All right, and state, have you reviewed that letter?
I did not know there was a letter.
All right,
It's
just one
possible it
second.
may not have attached.
Well, let me, are you
I thought
able
I
to,
did.
that's okay. Are you able to email the letter to me and I'll
I'm
print
able
it
to
out?
email that letter today.
Let me,
Yes, I have it. And
let
if
me
we
get-
want to table the decision until the court can review that letter, that would be fine.
what I will do is, this is my email address. If you're able to email it to me, then I'll email it back to both parties, so it won't be considered ex parte.
That's fine. I will do that and I will make sure that I have your email address as well and I'll. do
And
it
if
to
you
both.
attached it to your motion, the clerks may be able to pull it up as well.
I attempted to, not everything I've attempted to e-file has gone the way that I wanted it
Okay,
to.
all right, no problem.
So, but I'll make sure that the court has it within the next 2 hours.
All right, thank you. You may continue.
Okay. We had said, I had asked if you had another son and you identified the son as Juan Munoz Jr., is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, does Juan have any kids?
Yes, he's got 3,
Okay. And are any of those kids under 18?
2 of them.
Okay, what are their names?
Noah Munoz and
Okay.
Elijah Munoz.
Do you have an idea about how old Noah and Elijah are?
Noah's 13 and Elijah's 8.
Okay,
No, I'm sorry, he just turned 9.
okay. Now, prior to this arrest, are you aware of whether Christopher was active in his nephew's lives?
Oh, yes, he was.
Okay, and he and his brother or he and his nephews
Were
would frequently
close.
see each other?
Yes.
Okay. And since his arrest, are you aware of whether Christopher has been able to have any contact with his nephews?
No, he hasn't.
Have his nephews been able to come over to your house?
No, they cannot.
Okay. Do you wish they could have?
Yes.
Now, what does Christopher, excuse me, what does Christopher do for his job?
He's a press operator.
I'm sorry,
Die
what?
cutting press operator for the company that I work at.
Okay, and what's the name of the company you work at?
Diversified Printing Services.
Okay, so he is a die operator at a printing shop. What does that function do?
It's a die cutting press. It runs sheets through and it cuts them and makes to make into pocket folders,
Got it, okay.
brochures, those HED sleeves.
Got it. So it's involves cutting different types of paper.
Yes, and of operating
Okay.
forklift and moving pallets and things
Okay.
like that.
Now, are you aware of whether Christopher, before this incident or before this arrest, was able to do jobs on the side, skilled labor, unskilled labor?
Yes, maintenance.
What
yes.
is Chris good at?
Air conditioning repair?
Okay. And since his arrest, has he been able to go do any of these side jobs that you're aware of?
No, he hasn't.
Do you have any idea why he has not been able to do that?
Because they require going to the actual home to look at the units.
Okay. And do you know whether he has tried to get permission from pretrial services to do side jobs?
I think one time he did ask for permission.
Are you aware of whether he was granted permission?
They did grant him permission one time.
Was there an issue of how much advance timing notice they needed or anything
A
like that?
day's notice, it was a day's notice advance.
Okay. And are you aware of whether he always has that much notice when he has a job opportunity?
No.
Okay.
No.
So has the lack of notice affected his ability to accept these opportunities, in your knowledge?
Yes,
Okay, okay. Do you believe that Christopher poses a danger to you?
no. I mean, yes, no, I believe he does not pose a danger to me.
Okay. Who else lives in your home?
I'm just myself.
Okay. Do you believe that Chris poses a danger to anybody else in your extended family?
No,
Would you be worried if anybody in your extended family spent time around Christopher?
no, I would not be worried. I never have worried.
Okay. Do you want the court to grant him relief from GPS monitoring?
Yes, I do.
Do you want the
Very
court
much.
to grant him the ability to travel around freely?
Yes,
Do you want the court to allow him to be around people who are not yet 18?
yes, especially my his nephews
Okay.
and his son.
Wanted to ask one other question. You mentioned that Juan Munoz was a junior.
Mhm.
Now, you said you lived alone. So
Yes.
does that mean that you are no longer with Christopher's father?
Right, we were
Okay.
divorced in 2008.
Okay. So does Christopher's father is he still living?
Yes, he is.
Okay. Has Christopher been able to go and visit his father?
No, he hasn't,
Do you know why?
because he has to be at my house.
Ask the witness.
State?
So yes, I have a few questions for you.
Yes.
Are you aware of the charges that Mr. Munoz is currently facing?
I was made aware of them, yes.
It's, continuous sex abuse of the mind, right?
Right.
Which you would agree with me, it's a very serious.
It's a very serious charge, yes, I know.
Because it involves children, right?
Mhm.
And you're aware that while he is facing his trial date, there needs to be some special conditions as part of his bond, right?
Yes,
And one of those conditions is to keep him under partial house arrest, right?
right,
So he is still allowed to go to work, right? It's just that he wants more time to go to work.
yes, Correct.
But you agree with me that even though you said that he does not pose a danger to you because you're his mother, you agree with me that there could be a danger to the community for someone facing this charge.
No, I don't believe that.
So you would agree with me that okay, so do you know any other facts in this case?
I just know what I was read,
What you read?
well, no, what came out on the news.
Okay, but of course, everything that gets reported in the news is not full case.
Right, correct.
There's definitely more information. So you haven't talked to these girls, right?
No, I don't even know where they live.
Okay, so it's fair to say that you're missing information, right? That we have, which is why we have concerns, right? Okay, so you mentioned that he cannot go grocery shopping, right?
Right.
But you agree with me that he can still get groceries, right?
If I go out of town, then he's left to fend for himself.
Well, but there's ways to get groceries, like maybe at curbside. Have you heard of HEB curbside?
Yes,
You can
correct.
go and pick up the groceries after, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
You
in
pay
terms of-
more if you can.
Well, you can pay more if you need it immediately, but it's
Mhm.
free if you order it ahead.
Correct.
Okay. Um. You also stated that you don't believe that he's a danger to the family members, to
Correct.
the extended family, but you also said that the extended family cannot go to your home because of the conditions, correct?
Correct.
Okay, but you agree with me that Mr. Munoz doesn't necessarily have to live with you, right? He can live somewhere else.
He was evicted from his apartment that he lived at when he got these charges on him.
Okay, but he's working, right?
Right.
And he can maintain himself, or at least he could, right, and live somewhere else.
That would be difficult because then he would have to disclose what he's charged with.
And you think that the community would want to know these kinds of things?
Because I don't believe that he did this.
Yeah, but you just told me that you don't know all the information. How can you believe that?
Because I know my son.
Okay, I see. Because you love your son,
Yes.
right? And you're gonna do everything to protect him.
Of course.
No further questions, Judge.
Any other questions?
Are you aware that HEB does a 3% upcharge for curbside orders? Were
Yes,
you aware of that?
I am aware of it because.
Even if you order ahead?
Correct. I know.
No further questions.
All right, here's my question. Who all lives in your home? What are their ages?
Me, I'm 63 and then my son Christian.
All right, those are the only two people who live in your home?
2, yes.
All right. So with regards to what is in place now, which is that he cannot be around persons 17 or younger, who are the people? And when I say people, I mean, what are their ages of the people who you want to be in your home who are 17 years or younger?
My grandson Noah, 13, my other grandson Elijah, he's 9, and then of course Jackson.
Okay. And how old is Jackson?
Jackson's 8 years old. That's his son.
All right. So the 13-year-old and the 19-year-old, do their parents know what he's charged with?
The 19-year-old?
I'm sorry,
Oh.
the 13-year-old and the 9-year-old, do their parents know what he's charged with?
Yes, they do.
And the 8-year-old, does the mother of that child
Yes.
know what he's charged with?
Yes, she does.
And the parents of the 13-year-old, the 9-year-old, and the 8-year-old, do they have issues with him being alone with the 13-year-old, 9-year-old, and 8-year-old?
No, they don't have any issues.
Okay.
Does your daughter have any children?
My daughter doesn't have any children yet.
Okay.
She's trying.
So with regards to the 13-year-old and the 9-year-old, do they have to come to your house or can you go to their home?
That's what I've been doing, going to their home, but when I have family gatherings or it's my birthday or Easter or something like that, it'd be nice to have it at my house. And especially for Thanksgiving, Christmas is coming up.
So you're saying
And
Thanksgiving,
babysitting too, because sometimes, my son lives on base at Lackland. And sometimes I'd like for them to bring him to my house and they could,
and he's not allowed on base, is he?
not right now, no.
And why is he
Well,
not
he
allowed?
had passed for base. Yes, he was.
But he's not allowed
He
on
hasn't
base
been
now?
able to go anywhere. Once he goes to work, he comes.
No. My question is, with the charges he has, is he allowed on base?
I don't know.
May I
All right,
clarify?
and, oh, just 1 second. When is your birthday?
It just passed July 24th.
Okay, all right, you may ask questions.
Has he even attempted to go on base since he was put on house arrest?
No.
All right, any other questions?
Not
All right.
mistake.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Your Honor, when
Yes.
he was arrested, of course, he was a magistrate. He didn't have an attorney at the time. So everything's put into place without counsel.
Well, I can tell you, when a person goes before a magistrate,
Mhm,
it's not considered adversarial.
mhm.
So what ends up happening when a person goes before a magistrate, that magistrate just tells them what their rights are.
Mhm.
Nobody questions him about the facts of the case or whether it's true or not.
Mhm.
They just read it. The magistrate will read what the charges are to make sure there's probable cause. Then what will end up happening is the magistrate will tell him his rights, you know, what you've heard on television,
Yes.
right to remain silent, and then the magistrate will set a bond. Okay? So the magistrate's job is not to determine whether he's guilty or not guilty. You understand? Because their burden is much lower.
Yes,
All right. Thank you so much for coming in.
thank you.
You may see.
All right, you can call your next witness.
No further witnesses, just have argument, and I will provide the court with the document that we mentioned.
All right.
Would this be the appropriate time for argument?
Yes, well, I have a few questions. Maybe the attorneys can address this.
Okay.
So,
So before we move forward, the person
Yes.
judge, I just wanted to see, I don't have any witnesses, but I want to see if I can just use, please give one, just get police report and prosecution back to the court.
yes. Any objections to the court reviewing the police report and the prosecution guide?
We object simply because there is no sponsoring witness, there's no supporting documentation, it is simply an unproven charge. And we would ask the court to either to decline to review it because there's nobody to sponsor it, or to at least take notice of the fact that nothing in there is proven.
All right, the court will take notice that nothing is proven. This will just, and I will tell you, the purpose of my reviewing it is to figure out why the state is objecting to the 17 years of age. That's what I'm trying to understand.
Correct. My response would be judge that the rules of evidence for 101.
All right, thank you. All right, so first issue, and if y'all can tailor your arguments to the questions that I have. So state, with regards to him going to a grocery store, what is the specific issue with him shopping for groceries?
Given that there are two victims in this case, one of the witnesses is a child, so total of 3 minors. I believe any exposure to any children in the community is a danger. I don't believe that he should be in public places or places where there are children around, which would be a grocery store.
Okay. All right, so here's the court issue with the grocery store shopping. People have to be allowed to have food. So what we can do with regards, I'm not going to remove GPS tracking, but I will allow him a time period where he can go to the grocery store. The tracking will actually show him at the grocery store. So what hours does he need to go to the grocery store?
Would normally be evenings and weekends, times when he's not working. And it would not necessarily just be the grocery store. Sometimes we need Scotch tape, sometimes we need new shoes.
All right, they have that at the grocery store. They do have Scotch tape at the grocery store. And if you, I'm not promoting anybody, but Walmart has everything. HEB has everything. Walmart has shoes. They do have groceries as well. If you're going to the Walmart that has everything. HEB, if you're going to the big HEB, my understanding, they have shoes, they have everything. So it's not going to be every day. Pick a day for when he wants to go to the grocery store.
Would you be able to do shopping on a Saturday or on a Sunday more conveniently?
I would.
Pick a day,
Saturday,
Saturday. Okay.
All right, Saturday for the grocery store. What's the time frame? And I'm thinking children, when I was growing up, children would be at home in the morning time watching cartoons, getting up at 6 a.m., waking parents up.
Could be working Saturday daytime. Would it be appropriate for evening, or is there some place that's gonna be closed by evening?
Oh, HEB is 24/7, so is Walmart.
I think Walmart is 24/7. I don't know about HEB.
HEB still closes at 11. I have a daughter who works
Oh,
there.
HEB closes at 11? Oh, I didn't know that. Well, Walmart is 24/7. So what time for the grocery store?
If the, how large or small a time frame is the court looking for, like a 4 hour time frame? Or
Oh, it
what are you
doesn't
looking
take
for?
people 4 hours to grocery shop.
Okay.
All
I
right.
would say after 5 p.m. on
Be
Saturdays.
2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours for grocery shopping.
Okay.
So what time? Saturdays? What are the hours for grocery shopping?
About 5 p.m.
5 to 7
5 to
p.m.
7.
Okay.
5 p.m. to 7 p.m. for grocery shopping on 7. Now, we've settled that. I'm not removing GPS, but I will allow him to go grocery shopping from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Is tracking unacceptable as an option to the court?
No, I'm not going to do tracking. Is he being allowed to work?
Yes.
He is currently being allowed to work. I think the issue was he wanted to do additional.
He had
Jobs,
additional
side jobs,
opportunities
okay.
because he's good at AC repair and things like that. And he was not able to embrace most of those because they required more advanced notice than pretrial was comfortable with. And pretrial also wanted to know, is this somebody's home that he would be at or something like that?
Because here's the thing, if he's doing AC work, if he has to go inside somebody's home,
Correct.
then they need to know what he's charged with in case they have children inside the home. And I'm not saying any of this is true. I'm not taking it as true, just
Sure.
based upon the nature of the charges.
You got to be fair to both sides.
Yes. All right. So partial GPS for employment, that's going to still stand, and he's allowed to grocery shop on Saturdays, 5 to 7 p.m. Now, the next thing we're going to move to is this 17 years or younger issue. Thanksgiving, Christmas. State,
So it would be the same argument, Judge. This is more than one victim. I did not know about the CPS letter. I will have no objections if he wants to see his son and his son only. However, any cousins or any other minor children, I would probably be objecting to that.
Your Honor, in response, may I respond to that?
yes.
The allegations in this case date back to 2017. It is 2024 now. There is no allegation of any inappropriate contact with children since then. There have been no criminal charges since then that have stuck. There was a misdemeanor assault that was charged and then summarily dismissed because the justice system worked like it was designed to work.
All right.
So if there were going to be issues involving his nephews, they would have come up by now.
All right, number one, I'm not going to allow any unsupervised contact with minors. So with regards to Thanksgiving and Christmas, usually I know Thanksgiving and Christmas, when people come over, they stay forever, but there's going to be a window of time for Thanksgiving and Christmas where the mom can have her grandchildren there and he can be there as well. But it's no unsupervised contact. Any objections to that as an option, state?
Well, see, I have concerns, Judge, because the allegations that were made, police report, there was adults in the home, it was just in a different room
No,
where this
that's
happened.
inaccurate.
That's my understanding. So absent any,
My let me reread your police report, because I think in the police report, I think,
I think there's more details in the prosecution guide with the child tip.
okay,
I have transcribed the whole thing. There has never been an allegation of anything that happened while any other adult was in the home.
just one moment, because I didn't read that, but let me see if I can see what you're talking about. No, it does say that, that other people were in a different room.
So for those reasons, we want.
All right.
The other people were not adults. The other people were allegedly the girls.
Okay.
So anyway, but per further evidence.
All right. So here's the thing. Thanksgiving, I don't know. Thanksgiving and Christmas, I don't know how his family proceeds with their Thanksgiving, their Christmas, but there can be a window if mom is the person in charge of cooking Christmas dinner and Thanksgiving dinner. There can be a window where they can be there, but usually I know people don't want to leave right away after dinner, so I will give them a time frame on Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Would you like to ask mom? She's still here in the room.
Mom, if you'll come forward.
Mary Munoz, please step forward again.
All right, so are you the person who's going to be having Thanksgiving at your home?
I would like to have it at my home this year, yes.
And do you have Christmas at your home?
We each have Christmas at my home, or we'll have Christmas at my son's home. The
All
one
right.
That lives on base.
All right, so
Or my
Christmas,
daughter, I'm sorry, she lives in Seguin.
all right, so for Thanksgiving, when is your Thanksgiving dinner?
Thanksgiving Day.
No, I mean, what are the hours?
Oh, um, all day, basically. Till about 9 o'clock, 10 p.m.
All right, so Thanksgiving Day, 9 a.m. to what time state? Because I normally with Thanksgiving, families are cooking all day.
I mean, I prefer not to have any, but
Yeah.
if it's just gonna be the lunch or the dinner, just
Yes.
for eating, it just depends on what time they wanna eat.
But usually Thanksgiving dinner is throughout the day. Okay, 9 a.m. to,
May the defense make a comment?
yes.
In my experience, and I have not been at the Munoz household, but in my experience, we have a lot of meal prep. We have a very big meal that's way too big. There's no room left for dessert. There's football games, there's naps, there's dessert, there's leftovers, there's frequently games.
Well, I will tell you. In
Which part of
my,
that do we want to nix?
well, in our tradition, dinner is cooked the day before and everybody just relax on the event. So it's 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. and the parents of the 13-year-old, the 9-year-old, and the 8-year-old need to submit a letter stating they know what he's charged with. And they are fine with him being in a home with a 13-year-old, 9-year-old, and an 8-year-old supervised.
Yes. And that's all I want, and it's for, even if I'm always there, or somebody else is always there.
9 a.m., 8 p.m. on Thanksgiving. Christmas,
Could we ask for the same thing, Your Honor?
well, here's the problem with Christmas. Christmas is going to be on base. I don't know if they're going to allow him on base with his charges. They probably not. But if they are allowing him on base, then it will be 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. And again, there will need to be a letter submitted that the parents, and when I say parents, I mean both parents, know what he's charged with and have no objection to him being in a room with a 13-year-old, 9-year-old, and 8-year-old, but he must be supervised. There must be an adult there. Does everybody understand?
Yes.
Is there anything else?
Nothing further with regard to, if that is all of what the court wishes to do on the motion, then there's nothing further at this time.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, court is calling 2020 CR 7910, State of Texas versus Ruby Cazares. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Raymond Saldana?
Defense?
Amir Memorial, Your Honor.
Are you Ruby Cazares?
Yes, I am.
Did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, I do understand.
Are you the same Ruby Cazares who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2020 CR 7910 for the offense of assault family second offense on November 13, 2020 for a term of 3 years? Is that you?
Yes, I am.
All right, state.
Moving forward with condition number 5, Judge. In Bear County, Texas, the defendant Ruby Cazares did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the month of May 2024 in violation of condition number 5.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
The state will be waiving and abandoning the remaining conditions.
No,
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 5, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 10 years in the prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5?
True.
No, do you still wish to complete true to violation of condition number 5, knowing that the court could send you to prison for 10 years?
Yes, true. The violation, yes.
No.
No, I'm sorry.
Listen to me.
Yes, sir.
You've pled true to violation of condition number 5. Is that correct?
Yes.
Do you understand that your contract is not with your attorney? It's not with the state. Your contract is with the court.
Yes,
Do you understand that if there's an agreement that has been reached between the attorney and the state, I don't have to follow that? Do you understand that?
yes,
Do you understand I could send you to prison for 10 years?
yes,
And do you understand I could fine you $10,000?
yes,
Knowing all that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5?
I did violate it, so yes, it's true.
All right, 5 will be found true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is, Judge, we ask that the court deny the motion, continue the defendant on probation or deferred adjudication, alter and amend the conditions to have her screened for felony drug court. In the alternative, she's not accepted to SAT.
I do not understand why I should follow this. And let me just explain why. She's been here before. And the MTR was withdrawn. It was altered and amended to include MIC evaluation, and she was extended for 1 year. So I just don't see how she's a good candidate. Does anybody want to address how would be a good candidate for this? I don't see it.
Judge,
So the complainant, the defendant's brother did mention to us that she has drug problems that he would like to have her get addressed. And probation did recommend, although it was the other way around, probation recommended SADF, and then it's disqualified to evaluate for drug court. But I felt that it's better to do felony drug court first to help her with the process, and then if that doesn't work, then of course we can give her the SADF.
So who is the complainant in this case?
It's my understanding, I'll have to double check, Judge, if it's this particular case that he's on probation for, but it's Ricardo Cáceres,
Her brother?
the brother, yes.
All right. Hi, let's have the brother come up. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm the victim.
All right, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Ricardo Cáceres.
All right, what does your sister need to be successful in probation?
My sister, to be successful first, she has to go to rehab, but I don't know if that'll help her because my sister's mentally ill. She's incompetent. She's been like that for the last 10 years. People don't understand that she has a mental problem. She does not have a drug problem. She's mentally incompetent. She's vulnerable. And when she gets in the street, my sister is manipulated by the drug addicts and drug dealers because they know she's not altogether there. She's not going to survive on the street. She's going to die. I've taken her to the hospital 3-4 times because she's overdosed. And she's been in here before you, before Judge Gonzalez and all the judges. It's a revolving door for the last 10 years. Nobody takes me seriously. Her probation officer are afraid of me because I try to help them and they don't want my help. I tell them, look, my sister needs to go to rehab. This is a serious thing. She's been there before. She relapses, but I don't think she's ever going to be the same again because she's mentally ill and mentally incompetent. And my sister needs to be supervised for the rest of her life. Now, if they let her go, the only thing I requested from a probation officer, put a monitor on her so we know where she is at all times. Now, he said the monitors are expensive. I told him, look, I'm going to pay for it. Don't tell me it's expensive because I'm paying for it. Then he said, well, then put her in a halfway house, but she needs to be supervised for the rest of her life because I don't know if it's a drug problem, but I think she's mentally ill. She's been like that ever since she was in a car wreck. She had a tumor in her head. She's never been the same. So we got a mental problem and we got a drug problem at the same time, but she needs supervision for the rest of her life. And I've been with her for the last 10 years. Our family wants, I'm representing our family, brothers, all her brothers. They told me to call them court and speak on their behalf. She needs help and she's needed it a long time ago and they don't give her the rehab. They just send her back on the street again. And she was here with you about a year or two ago. She was with Judge Gonzalez and it's been the same thing, a revolving door over and over. I love my sister. I'd rather see her in prison than see her dead. I'd rather see her be in prison because she's going to be alive in prison because they're going to be supervising her. out here in the streets. She's by herself. She goes and sleeps in the bus stops. And she's a drug addict. I love her, but I want her to live. She's going to die in the streets. I already taken her to the hospital for overdoses, and she doesn't want to live. That's all. It's a spiritual problem, I guess. I don't know if it's a mental or what, but this is-
Okay.
I'm
Alright.
added up to it. I mean, I've been taking care of her for the last 10 years, and
All right, thank you so much. So I'm gonna try to see if we can get her some help, okay?
yes, but
Alright.
if you release her back to the street, at
No,
least-
she's not being released. All right, thank you. All right, so this is what the court is gonna do. If you'll come back up. Court is finding violation of condition number 5 true. The court will deny the motion, alter and amend conditions to felony drug court referral.
Judge,
Will they not accept her?
either that or Esperanza Court.
All right, so we'll do felony drug court or Esperanza. And she's to remain in custody for those evaluations. Probation, if for any reason she's not accepted, let the court know, we'll bring her back and we'll consider something else. And I'll do GPS, full, waive the fees, and extend her for 2 years.
Judge, are you going to extend her from today or because she expires in November of 2025? Are you going to expire?
No, we're extending her from today.
Judge, that's the extension actually,
Because she's been on since 2020. So that's 2024, and we add 2 more years.
Judge, but the way that it works when you do the expiration, the extension, it goes from the expiration date.
Okay,
So do you want it? do you
From
want
the
it
expiration date.
2025?
yes. All right, we're gonna try to get you some help, but here's the thing, at the end of the day, nobody can help you if you don't want to help yourself. I can put you in a program, refer you to a program. I understand what your brother is saying, that you have mental health issues, but they can't determine your mental health issues until you're clean and sober. Because sometimes the drug use masks your mental health issues, and people will think there's an issue, maybe schizophrenia or something else, but when it really is not. So you're gonna have to do your part. If you're not gonna do your part, you're looking at 10 years in the prison. You understand? I understand. All right, if you need something, you need to let probation know. So what's gonna end up happening, we can go off the record. This is what's gonna happen. You're gonna go back to the jail. While you're in custody, you're gonna be interviewed by Esperanza Court and Felony Drug Court. You need to be 100% honest with them about your drug issues and mental health previous diagnosis. You understand? If for some reason Esperanza Court or the drug court doesn't accept you, you're going to be brought back here. You're not going to be released. You're going to be brought back here. We're going to see what program we can come up with. If you're released, you're going to be on GPS, and it's going to be full GPS, and I'll ask that the fees be waived. And you're going to be extended for 2 years. You understand? So this is sort of your safety net for you to get your life together. And it's up to you. You understand? You have any questions about anything?
No questions at all.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Maybe excused?
Yes.
Thank you.